Hello, you beautiful, magical soul. Today, I am so excited to repost an interview that I got to do with Tawnya Moseley of Talking with the Angels and Beyond. And her links are right here so that you can go and check out her channel as well. During our time together, we talked about shadow work and how to do that work, what it is, gratitude practices, pattern interrupts so that we can reprogram our mental emotional patterning, as well as what spiritual entrepreneurs have that their counterparts may not have, how to work with that energy in your business. And we also talked about the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies in business and how to take those energies into their healthy, whole forms in order to support you in your work. I'm so excited to share this with you. Thank you for being here with me today. All the best.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of, what day is it? Wednesday. We're doing Coffee with the Angels today. Having a little bit of a brain fart. Yes, I've already drank all my coffee, but I've got water. So hope you guys grab a cup of joe and something to drink. We have a fantastic, fabulous guest. I'm so excited that she has said yes. Sarah is actually local. Can you guys believe it? I found somebody pretty local. Yes, I've been trying to step out and meet more people. There's some people clicking on. Hello. Sarah is local. She's kind of in my neck of woods. So it was kind of fascinating how Spirit brought us together. You guys know kind of how Spirit brings me people. Sorry, I got birds out the window. They're distracting me. Good morning, Melanie. Oh, Melanie's going to be a guest this month too. Oh, so excited you guys are all here. And people's Facebook page will come up, and Sarah kind of, okay, sorry, hold on. I got to clear the feed. Spirit says, clear the feed. And Sarah's face kind of popped up. Spirit's like, well, click on her. And then she ended up messaging me, and she was like, oh, hey, like I'm in the area too. Asked where we're located. And we ended up having coffee, and really thank you so much for sharing. And we ended up hitting it off. So we've met a couple times and had coffee, and she is a fabulous intuitive. So you guys, I want her to tell you all about her story. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for sharing. And please welcome, how do I do it? Sarah. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell everybody kind of about yourself and how you stumbled on this spiritual journey.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm looking at you, but I don't know if I'm looking in the right place.
Yep, you're looking all good.
Oh, technology. Yay. So I started this journey when I was young. I was really, really blessed to always be close to Spirit. I started meditating when I was in high school. But I had a lot of trauma in my life. I had a lot of depression. I, was coping. I didn't have my parents, for as amazing as they were, didn't have the emotional intelligence to, bring me up that way. And so I did a lot of hiding. I did a lot of drinking. I did a lot of people pleasing. And so it's been kind of a long road for me to really get to this place of just being good with who I am and being able to be like, yeah, I talk to Spirit. I, read soul gifts.
It's a hard closet to come out of.
It really can be. Yeah. And I think so many of us right now are in that space of having to transcend that visibility wound and not hide. So I'm just really, really grateful that Spirit gave me all of those experiences to get to where I am now.
Yay.
Yeah.
So Spirit goes, where are you now? What are you doing? What are your gifts since you're out of the closet and telling us all about you?
Yeah, so I really help people live their purpose now, and really dive into how people are built at soul level and what are the gifts that you're here to work with. And a lot of times I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know, but we're just really creating some sacred space to look at what your gifts are. What are the shadow side of those gifts? I think that's an important piece to look at too, because there's really a lot of gold in our shadow. And, we're all here to be human as well. And so when we're tired or angry or, hungry or somebody hurt our feelings, how do our gifts come out so that we can recognize when we're doing both sides of that vibration and work with that energy to really move forward into who we're here to be and what we're here to live without people pleasing or trying to hide and, really creating what it is we're here to manifest through spirit into the physical.
So how does spirit communicate to you?
So the main tool that I use is the Akashic Records, and I am a feeler and a seer. So those are kind of the main ways that my energy comes in. And what I love about getting to work with people in that capacity is I learn something from everybody I get to be in contact with. And we all work with spirit in different ways. So I think it's so exciting to get to really dive into that with people. And a lot of what I'm here to do with people is really, like I said, kind of take them into some shadow work in order to reclaim wholeness and really process some of the past experience so that we can start to shed the layers of things that are holding people back from really stepping into what they're here to do. And I always like to say too, when I'm talking about purpose, I never want it to be this big, heavy, oh, I gotta do my purpose or I don't know what it is. And, really it's as simple as just listening to your heart and following that. What creates that highest excitement? What is spirit calling you towards? What feels the best? And going towards that, because it's always going to be a path of unfolding. There's never one big, hairy, scary purpose that we're meant to do forever, because we're meant to let it unfold.
Awesome. Lisa's got a question for you.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That's a great question to explain shadow work. So to me, shadow work is kind of going into the human side of emotions, the negative aspect that, can sometimes be very hard to look at. I think in the spiritual community, we're really, really good at working on shifting into positive emotion, which is a great tool to have. But sometimes we can bypass getting into those more negative emotions that are holding us back. And so they're still kind of under the surface. Mm-hmm. And so to me, shadow work is just giving it a sacred container to look at, okay, this was my trauma when I was growing up, or this is an emotion that I'm having a hard time with, or I'm not where I want to be. And so let me look at how I feel about that. I'm a really big fan of journaling and giving ourselves that space to go into it, without poking our pain with a stick. We're not trying to wallow in it, right?
Right.
But just to give it that expression so that spirit can really work to heal it with us. And start to shed that. Does that help answer that question?
Yes. Summer made a good point. So how's your audio? Spirit's bugging me and keep pushing in my ear. How's your hearing been? Because I feel like you're becoming more audio.
Yeah, I definitely do get audio messages as well. I get I really feel like ringing in the ears is one of the signs, and that has really increased for me a lot, especially as we're all kind of in this portal way. All the energy is going on, all of the astrological aspects happening right now. we're really in an exciting time on this.
You've been also hearing like different tones, Spirit's saying, like, so you're really been opening up. And I like when you're talking about what you do in your coaching, because she's doing a lot of coaching and mentoring. And when she's talking about slow down, the shadow side, and I talk about it as souls, just going kind of deeper, 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 deeper. And I love this because even as intuitives, as we are all on this journey, we're all on this. And as we go deeper within ourselves, we realize the more gifts that we have. So that's why they keep coming in, like you've gone deeper, which opens up, things within ourselves. So I feel like somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah, that's a great message.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Ooh. Sarah, would you like to answer that one? I know. Go ahead.
I might have missed it. I'm not so.
Oh, is it up at the top? No?
No.
It says, how do we give ourselves that strength?
To look at, and Summer, I do see your comment. It's easy to see the shadow in others, but it's harder when it's yourself, and how to give yourself the strength to really look at that. So yeah, that's a great question. I think part of that is a surrender process, because I feel like so often we're in these layers of resistance, right? Where we're trying to get somewhere, we're trying to get to our big vision and to, all the beautiful things we want to create in our lives. And so often we're pushing aside some of the negative things we don't want to experience in order to get there, instead of just surrendering to it. And again, there is that very fine line of not allowing ourselves to wallow in it or be stuck in it. And I think gratitude practices are really good. I really feel like journaling is a great way to release things and process in a deeper way. And pattern interrupts, I think that's a part of this process, is really just witnessing yourself, being the observer, and trying to, I like to say, be the scientific observer. So it's like we're withholding the judgment of ourselves that we've been so conditioned to lay on, and just kind of separating out, okay, I witnessed myself screaming this morning at my kid, or I witnessed myself getting angry or upset. I witnessed myself getting triggered. And so let me just acknowledge myself that happened and write it down. And then as soon as I see it, I pattern interrupt and I say, thank you for this opportunity to see this within myself, or thank you, Spirit, for showing me something new. And really trying to have a go-to statement that brings you back to your spirit, brings you back to yourself, to hold the light within.
I love that. Sherry, I'm not sure who that question is for, if it's for you or for Sarah or I, but I've been channeling a higher spirit. I don't think it's considered light language, though. Do you channel light language?
I'm not familiar with light language. I do channel, but yeah, that's something I'm excited to learn about now.
It's a lot of people, it's in a different dialect, I guess is the best thing, and different kind of language. So yeah. So I'm not sure who that was for, but I thought that was interesting that came up.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So you do your coaching and mentoring, right? Oh.
Yeah. So the process that I take people through is we look at, so I use the Akashic Records to access how you are built at soul level. So there's lots of parts and pieces to that. So the main energies of your gifts, the, pretty much everyone I work with is a starseed. So, the planets that your soul has incarnated on, and then we look at past lives and what is coming up from past lives that could still be a blocking energy, because I really think just like computer software that's kind of running in our aura. And so we do a lot of clearing work to clear those old programs out. And then I like to take it a step further from that energy to how is it showing up in your life now, and doing exercises around that, so that once you do the energetic clearing, you also have the manifest clearing, is kind of how I think of it, so that you can really solidify that into your world around you and see that, you know, create something new and different in your life. And then I do a lot of coaching around helping people become entrepreneurs, or if they're already working in a business, so that they can really step into their purpose and do the work they're here to do outside of, you know, the other constructs that we get stuck in a lot of times.
How long is your coaching program?
So right now I have what I call like a VIP package. That's 3 90-minute sessions.
Okay.
And then I also have a 4-month package where we do 2 90-minute sessions for 4 months. And that's really great for people who are ready to start their own business, or already in business. So Summer, I am located in Kansas City, and I also work on Zoom.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you guys are wanting to check out her program, you guys definitely check out the website. She'll post it here after the after the show and the feed. She'll post all her information. It was yesterday in the post, but sometimes people miss it. So Spirit's saying, why don't you talk about some of the downloads you got before this program?
Okay. Yeah. So I really wanted to talk about, you know, when we're stepping into living our purpose. And again, that's like just that first step into where Spirit's calling you, where your highest excitement is taking you. I think for a lot of people in the spiritual community, first of all, it's such a huge thing, because so often people go into business because they want to work for themselves, which is great. But outside of the spiritual community, a lot of times people are just doing, well, I think this will make me money, or I think people will buy this, right? Yep. Instead of focusing on what is your heart called to do. And so I think that's one of the biggest advantages that spiritual entrepreneurs have, is you start with your heart. You start with what Spirit is calling you. So that's always the best step to starting a business, or finding that space of being paid and finding, you know, sustenance and nourishment through your good work. Yes. The other thing that I see happen a lot of times is, again, kind of that hiding. So that visibility wound that so many of us are working on overcoming right now, because we were stoned in a past life because we used herbs or whatever it was, right? And so I see a lot of practitioners hiding in their modality. And so they lead with, this is my modality, this is what the modality does. And while we love our modalities, there's so many great things out there, I always like to take people back to, what is it that makes you special to do this work? Because no two people are going to do the same modality the same way. And it's really about who's bringing that work forward, and what your gifts are. And also, what is the big outcome that you want the people you serve to walk away with? And really focusing on the outcome that your people are going to have, versus, you know, oh, well, you know, I was a massage therapist for a long time. So with massage, I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to work on this trigger point. And really, when we can shift the focus to, you're going to walk away, you know, with a spring in your step, right, then that really brings us closer to connecting with those ideal people that we're here to serve.
Yes. And I think that's huge, because I talk about that all the time, is you know, go where your heart leads you. Go, and it's okay if it's multiple people, but listen to yourself, listen to your heart, listen to your heart. So I love that, because we are very, very unique. Like, that's what I talked about even in my rainbow class. Like, 4 different, you know, girls graduated, and they are all completely different and fabulous. So just because they, you know, did this certification, but what they did is open channels within themselves and realized, you know what, I have a very unique gift and I want to spread it to whoever vibes with my energy is the best way I can describe. So I love that, love that, love that. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just
I
gonna
love when she gets blasted with energy, because she's just like sits there like, okay, refocus. Here we go.
yeah. I just want to ask if there's anything else that needs to come through right now.
If anybody has any questions, you guys, for Sarah, please comment them and I will pin them to the tap. I'm getting a little dizzy, so something's coming in.
Yeah. So there is another piece around this that I think might be good just to let come through. I work a lot with the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and I think we all do right now. Mm-hmm. And part of what my journey has been, and what I see a lot of other people in the spiritual community working through right now, is kind of the more wild aspects of the divine feminine. And as we're bringing it back into its healthy whole form. And so what that can look like sometimes is being too scattered, having all this beautiful creative energy, but not knowing how to harness it in a way to really move forward and manifest. And because, you know, on the opposite side, we've had this divine masculine that's not been in its healthy whole form. And that can look like, oh, I gotta hustle. I gotta be overly busy. This is the way the world says it has to be, right? And so I think we're walking kind of through this portal way right now of like bringing all of that back into balance. Yeah. And so I think it's really important to give ourselves that beautiful creative freedom while also gathering it in a way that makes sense. And so like with my clients, what this can look like in the practical sense is kind of like when you do a session for someone or you're working with someone, you then ask for feedback, or you write down a testimonial, or you start gathering an email list and doing some of those more practical pieces to put it all, because we're also like, we just want to get in the energy and we just want to, you know, work with people and help people. And while it's a beautiful, amazing, magical thing, it's also really important to balance that with turning things into an actual productive force instead of just a hobby or we're barely scraping by. Because I really feel like this time on the planet right now is when we bring so much power back and empowerment back to ourselves, so that we bring ourselves in the microcosm and the world in the macrocosm back into balance.
That's awesome. I think that's definitely where we are. Balancing. I think Paula, can you see Paula's question?
Yeah, Paula, explaining how to bring past lives to memory. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I really feel like allowing your mind to go there when you're in meditation. And I'm a big believer in setting the intention. So if you go into meditation and just set the intention, bring in your guides, ask for a past life, and you might want to have a specific, like, show me the past life that is going to be the most supportive to me right now, or show me the past life where I have blocks right now. You know, so that you're kind of like giving spirit a direction because there's so much it could bring you, right?
I tell everybody in my readings, I'm like, I can go anywhere. So where do you want to go?
Yeah, yeah. So really setting the intention and then kind of release it. And don't necessarily expect it to come in right away. It might come in when you're washing dishes or when you turn on the radio and hear a song or in the shower, in the bath. Great places for moving energy. So I think kind of just setting that intention and then release it and let it come in and then trust what comes in.
Boom. Second piece. Trust, 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 trust.
There's, where I think we're so programmed to second guess and get in our minds and like, oh, is this even real? Well, it wouldn't come to your mind if it wasn't something for you.
Yes.
And so then just trust, like, okay, there's something here for me. Let me just be with it and start to get curious and playful and ask questions to get that energy rolling and build momentum as you're trying to gather those pieces of your past lives.
Yes. I love that. It was funny that you even said it because my reading, I don't know, yesterday, the day before that, it was highlights of times and periods that were in our past life that were very relevant to right now. And it's only like 2 we needed to focus on. So I love that. Very well. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, we are. I know some people have everybody's talking about like kind of what they're focusing on. Nicole talks about what she's doing, which is fantastic. Okay. I think that's I think we practice that every day. I mean, when especially Sarah, with hearing audio and getting new things. Exactly. I mean, spirit leads you where you need to go, and you have to fully dive into that trust and kind of just like let the reins down. And this is what I taught in self-love, is just like let it go and be like, all right, I'm gonna try this and we're gonna see where this goes. And when it's done, it's done. Spirit said, any other last questions for Sarah, you guys? Yes. Definitely, thank you. Checking out her coaching and her mentoring program if you guys are wanting to schedule an appointment, the VIP packet that you talked about, 3 sessions. That's really helping you with, along your journey, diving deeper into trust and really figuring out the shadow sides.
Yes. Yeah. And for anyone coming from the space, you get a 25% discount.
Oh, wow.
All of my work.
Well, yeah. That's awesome.
And I'm also going to have an online course coming out pretty soon. So if you want to join my email list, you can stay tuned for that.
Is that on your website as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Everybody's like, Tawnya, do you have an email thing? I'm like, no, I don't even check my own email. I'm not doing anything email. Everybody's like, you should do that. I'm like, no, just watch a video. I'll talk better than I type. So that's like my little thing. Like, you guys definitely check out. Woo, where we go. I'm glad you guys are all tuned in. I'm glad you guys were here. Yes, I'm glad you guys got to catch us live. Thank you guys. And if you guys share this message out, if you know anybody else who is interested in Sarah's work, check out her website and her Facebook. Follow. You do videos there. They're telling me.
I do videos on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel and then I post them to my Facebook. So kind of the opposite, since you do videos on YouTube or Facebook and post them.
I know. I do opposite. Yes, opposite. I'm just like, we're going live and then I got the That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your energy, your love, and helping people. I know because they hit me with a lot of and you said it before in coffee, and I forgot. Now they're bringing it to my forefront. Millennials, is that right? You work a lot with millennials.
Yeah.
They wanted me to say it.
Okay. Yeah. I've been feeling that energy coming in because so far I've worked with people, my own age, like Gen Y, Gen X, and baby boomers. And a lot of millennials are starting to come in too. So Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you guys,
We're all in the space of transformation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, are we? We're about to hit it for sure.
And the other thing that keeps coming up, as you're talking is, just like everybody got to see you on Monday, go into a deeper channeling state and go further with your spiritual journey. And what a beautiful example of like, yeah, it can be scary. Yeah, it can be hard to trust. We're still going to have our human side, that's why we're here. Our souls lined up to get on this planet and get into a body, and still moving forward anyway, still just trusting and allowing the process to happen and moving forward anyway. So thank you for being a beautiful example of that.
Well, thank you. I needed that because I've been a little, everybody's talking about, oh, you're trusting. And yes, I've been a little in my head. So I appreciate that. It's funny. And they told me to pull a card on the way out, and that's kind of what you're doing. Come on, where are we here?
Ooh, it's beautiful. Yeah. And happy new moon.
I know, right? That's where we're
at.
Yes. And hopefully Mercury in retrograde will take it easy on all of us.
It's a big one.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you for joining. Yes. Fabulous talk. You guys, thank you for your light and your love. Happy Wednesday, and we will talk all very soon. See you guys very soon.